our today's keynote speaker, Mr. Anand Bhatnagar. He is a passionate soul, someone who has fought his life with actual real struggle and reached to the greater heights, and is a living example. He serves as a key contributor in one of the largest India's conglomerate and works closely with a visionary businessman. A TEDx speaker who speaks from his heart. Lot of students wait for his sessions at UValai that when will Anand Bhatnagar going to come again. Let me tell you all that he prefers that people call him AB instead of Anand sir, or else it might happen that he may charge a fine from you. An adventurous person, a voracious reader, and someone who will cycle from Baroda to Ahmedabad or from Ahmedabad to Baroda by just saying કે હું આવ્યો જરા નાસ્તો ready રાખજો. So when we say that I come from this area to this area, he does that between two cities on a bicycle. Let us invite AV, who is a person on a personal mission, Mr. Anand Bhatnagar.
Thank you so much. He was shivering like when we shiver when the wife calls. So all the best for the future. Yeah. So good evening to all of you. I could see myself in him when that lady was saying, please come. And how many of you are not married? Girls will not understand, boys. So I'm doing a project in case you don't want to help. This is for the girls. Would you want to help me? So I'm doing a project which is titled "Ladki ke patni ho to usko ho kya hai?" You will not understand. And so thank you for this opportunity. Am I audible, Piche?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So
Lift the mic a little closer to your lips will help.
I can bring the mic closer to my lips. That was very romantic to say like
Talking about your wife.
Saturday evening, 6:30. Oh, what a way to start. Thank
Thank
you.
God for wives.
Just joking, sir. Just joking. Yeah? And it's an honor and a privilege to be standing in front of this gathering and people from the HR fraternity. And I don't know whether I'm feeling nervous or excited. I don't know what. But anyways, thank you for this opportunity, team. And warm welcome to the other speakers as well. And when I came here, I asked how much time do I have to speak. They said 40 minutes. I said hello. Dot kalaak ko warm up karta tha ishe, right? So I don't know how I can use this mic. Okay. So secret to happy life: never argue with a lady. Some of you are not even smiling. Yeah. So my name is Anand, and I prefer that you call me Anand or Amy. Yeah. So what does Anand mean? Anand does not mean happiness. Anand means joy. Yeah. And I'm standing right in front of the AC vent, and it is like chilling cold. Right. So if I start shivering while I'm speaking, so please understand why am I shivering. Right. And if you come here and you'll understand what I'm feeling. And I wore a nice shirt and they told me to wear a t-shirt. I said, okay, I'll wear a t-shirt. So I'm wearing a t-shirt. And I was just telling the team that why do we need designations? And I was telling some of them that we need to do away with the culture of designations. Do you agree? Yes. Why do I need a designation to introduce myself? Will you invite me only if I'm a particular person at a particular level in a particular company? Only then I have some sense, otherwise I don't have sense. And that's the question too, because we are all HR people. What does HR stand for? हंसते रहो and हंसाते रहो. But HR का नाम सुनते लोगों को डर लगता है यार HR का फोन आया. Right, so next time if you guys invite me, as it is whatever you read, assistant and associate, I don't know whatever you said, is all wrong, is 7 years old. It does not matter. What if I'm a janitor? What if I'm a janitor? Don't I have anything to teach? Don't I have anything to share? Hasn't life taught me something? Yes. But we are so customized, and I think so. It's a mindset that maybe my generation could not change, your generation should definitely change. Like calling people sir. Why should I call you sir? He says, sir, good morning. And one may soch rahe ho, this dimag khaega. So respect is as much in Anand as there it is in sir. So if you call me sir, I'll call you auntie or uncle, and there's a fine of 100 rupees. So payment mode preferred cash or Geo. हमारी छोटी सी and right, so I've worked in companies like, I've been working for the last about 29 years. That could be biological age or lesser than for some of you. I've worked in companies like Max New York Life. I've worked in HCL and currently work with Reliance. Reliance Industries. I'm based in Mumbai. This is maybe too close for comfort, so let me go here. Is that okay? So he does not like my proximity. That's okay. Not many people like my proximity. So, and over these last 20, whatever number of years, I've worked in various domains. Not getting into the details of this, but this is the area that I work in. But if I were to pick one of them, that would be sales. Right. So HR people need to understand sales. Right. And if you go and sell, you understand how business happens. And one of the in thing today is HR business partner, HR is a strategic partner, and all of that. A lot of debate keeps on happening globally, but I believe that we all need to understand how business happens. That has been one of my strengths because I've spent close to about 18 years in the field of sales. So if you understand how business happens, you will be able to add value as a business partner. That is what I think so. And whatever I am today, this is a standard introduction that I have. I'm speaking to most of you for the first time, except for Paresh Bhai. I know him for quite a while, and some of you are my friends. Whatever I am today and whatever I will ever achieve in my life, personally or professionally, is because of three reasons. Number one, the unceasing praise of my parents. I cannot start anything, I cannot do anything without acknowledging and appreciating and respecting that I am what I am because my mother still is fasting and praying for me. Right? And I'm sure it is the same with you as well. But I don't come across many people who acknowledge that in forums. And I don't understand why. Right? I am what I am because of my parents and especially my mother. The kind of sacrifice that she has given for me, I could not do anything in my life without what she has done. The unconditional support that I get from my wife. We are married about 25 years now. Close to 25 years, and she is one person who has made my house a home. And she is also a very qualified person, but she sacrificed her career for the family. Right? And while we all have jokes on husband, wives, and all of that, but at the core of it, she is the rock. She is who makes a home very, very important. And we are blessed with what I call the best daughter in the world. She is a fabulous, fabulous, fabulous child. Her name is Natasha. She currently studies in the US. And children, when you go back home, all kids, when you go back home, you know what your parents want, they just want a smile. But how do we go back home? With a frown. When employees meet HR people, what are they expecting? A smile. Empathy is a very, very important attribute that we as HR people, not just HR people, we as human beings should be having. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Yeah? And so this is what my family is. That's the reason I'm so happy. That's the reason I live. That's the reason I smile. That's the reason I exist. Right? And as a person, I'm a very compassionate person. And I'm a very passionate person. Passion is what drives me, and compassion is what moves me. And I believe it's better to be crazy than to be lazy. It's just not cycling between Baroda and Ahmedabad. I've done Ahmedabad, Surat as well. I've done Ahmedabad, Palanpur as well. The longest that I've ridden non-stop is 324 kilometers, which is a lot, 17 hours, 20 minutes on a bicycle. So cycling is something which I love to do. And this is my vision in life. Again, sharing all these things with you because I don't come across many people who have their personal vision statement. And I think so we all should have. because that drives us and guides us and helps us say no in tempting situations. Yeah, so I am here doing the session not because get a chance to network and meet HR people. That's not the purpose. My purpose is because the vision drives you, drives your behavior to impact 100,000 lives by 2027. Whatever I do, I should be able to earn respect for my parents and honor God. Very, very important. Hence, designations don't matter to me. I may be an office boy, but my work is earning respect for my mother. I think so that is worth $1 trillion, if at all it could be put into a value bag. So that's the reason that I'm here, and to live life with an abundance mindset. I don't come across many people who smile. And especially youngsters today, one of the challenges that all of you have is you have temperament issues. आपको गुस्सा बहुत आता है। मुझे पता नहीं चलता किस बात का गुस्सा आता है। ये क्या है? Exam तो pass करिए। And so much of arrogance is what I see. And I don't know. If I could change one thing in this world is, can we all smile? Can we all live with an abundance mindset? दुनिया में बहुत है. How we drive, how we board a flight. Next time you just observe human behavior. Yesterday I had a very late night flight from Mumbai to Ahmedabad, Go Air, and it just did not go. I said, come on, go. and yeah, that was funny. Anyways, don't have time to all of that. And the 4 words that define me, if you check my WhatsApp DP, it also has these 4 words: start unknown, finish unforgettable. Right? So starting unknown is by default, everyone gets it. But how many of us would want to finish unforgettable? How do we do that? I think so that is what upskilling is. Right? That is what contribution is. Right? And if I were to die today, would Reliance miss me? If no, then I was just one name on an Excel sheet. And I'm not a name on an Excel sheet. मेरा वजूद है, and वो वजूद कुछ काम का होना चाहिए. Right? So those are some of the things that define me, right? And the person sitting on your left and right, look at that person, look into his or her eyes, and say these statements with him or her. Say that I'm doing better. Please shake hands with people sitting next to you. Please shake hands. Please shake hands with sir. Say that I'm doing better than good and better than most. Say that. Please shake hands, guys. You shook hands, very nice. Right, so, how many of you are actually believing that you are doing better than good? Then why don't we smile? Why are we so always on a trip? के मतलब नाक पे लेके घूमते हैं, right? And you're doing better than most. If you earn 10,000 rupees a month, if you have clothes to cover your body, if you have food in your refrigerator, if you have a roof over your head, we are wealthier than 97% people on this earth. What we have, boys and girls, we don't feel the privilege that we have. 97% of the people of this earth don't have the blessing that we have. Are you there with me? So one of the skills that, if I can at all talk about it as a skill, is can we have empathy as a skill? That's why I said if I could put that as a skill. I don't see empathy around. We need to build empathy irrespective of the domain that we are working in. We are all HR professionals, whether HR or anything else. I think so empathy is a very, very important thing. And does today matter in your life? That's what's the date today? 16, right? So does 16th of November 2019 matter in your life? Yes. Right? So do you realize this sentence? Read the sentence. And when my time is over, just say, I will stop, I will stop. So please read the statement. So when we talk about upskilling, what should we upskilling people on? could be speed, could be execution. Yeah? So how many of you have heard this for the first time, that today is the slowest day for the rest of our lives? Things are getting faster, yes or no? Technology is making things redundant by each passing moment. The old skills are getting replaced by new skills at a pace that we have not seen in the past. But I am still tied to the past. How many HR professionals, working HR professionals? How many of you read a book a month? What about the others? Okay, so maybe I got my question wrong. I'm so sorry. You guys, the others who did not raise hands, would be reading a book a week. I'm so sorry. Yeah, the reason this is important is to understand this data, and you can check this on LinkedIn. If you look at various industries and the time they took to reach a customer base of 50 million, starting with airlines to automobiles to telephone, going on to YouTube and Facebook, you see a decreasing trend. Like an airline took 68 years for 50 million users, telephone took 50 years, electric close to 50 years, Facebook took 3 years, Twitter took 2 years, Geo took 83 days. So are you geared up for speed? હલ્લે ધીરે ધીરે બરોડાનું આમ પેલું કાલા ઘોડા ચાલતું હોય ને એવું કારણ સર ધીરે ધીરે આપણું કાર્યક્રમ ચાલે. શાયદ થાય છે ને ભાવે છે ને થાય છે ને બધું છે, શું ઉતાવળ છે, શાંતિ જોઈએ. તો લગન કર ભાઈ. You will not understand, that's okay. So, what are the skills? How many of you don't? I know Ankita madam does not understand Gujarati. How many else don't understand? You don't understand
I
Gujarati?
understand.
You can understand, okay, so that's great. You understand Gujarati, you don't understand Gujarati, that's okay, that's okay. So, for both of you, if the best way to learn Gujarati is my Gujarati. You will not find better than from Gujarat. Joking but not joking. Yeah? So, how do we move from here to there?
By upskilling yourself.
By upskilling yourselves, absolutely, right? And how many of us know the there for ourselves and the companies that we work for? Only a few of us, right? So if you are working in a company, do you know the vision statement of your company?
Yes.
Right? And how does my work tag into that vision statement? Very important for me to understand. Am I a contributor? We are an enabling function, we are not a support function. That's what I have always believed. Yes? So how do we move from here to there? Whether there is a lot of automation. You know, machine learning, you know, AI, and many other things that are going to disrupt the business world. There was, again, I don't have too much of time, but just to share some data point with you, if you go back and study Fortune 50 companies, the top 50 companies in the world, not long back, they survived 50, 60, 70, 80 years. Today, if you look at the tenure, the life of a Fortune 50 company is less than 15 years. That's kind of gone down one-fourth, one-fifth. Why? What happened to Nokia? What happened to Kodak? Are you willing to change? Are you changing your habits? Are you changing your reading habits? Let's do a quick activity. Please raise your right hand. Raise it as much as you could. Thank you. Put it down. Thank you for doing this for me. My question is, why did you not do as much as you could when I told you the first time? The capability is here. The performance is here. So, how are you working on office on a daily basis? Am I here? Most of us, yes. That's comfort zone. What grows in comfort zone? Nothing. And you push someone out of comfort zone, આનંદ તો નકામો માણસ છે, બહુ ટફ વાતો કરે, આપણે એની સાથે નથી કામ કરવું. How many of you have a coach and a mentor in your life? When was the last time you had a tough discussion where you cried? Please understand, if someone is not making you cry, you are not growing. Period. How many of us have Because your generation, parents can also not be tough with you. You say, that's what today's kids are, right? So you can't be tough with them. School में आपके टीचर ने आपको कोई मारा नहीं. ऑफिस में हम लोग आपको गुस्सा करते हैं तो आप HR को ईमेल लिख देते हैं. Oh, this is not a conducive workplace. Yeah. Anyways, right? So we need someone to be tough with us. I believe it's important that we have a coach and a mentor who is able to guide us, because I can tell you in general what are some of the skills, and I'll specify those skills as well, but those are in general. But for my vision, what are the skills that I need for the journey that I am traveling? Because the skills that I need may not be the skills that you need. Because my vision is very different, my goal is very different, my objective is very different than yours, yes or no? So you cannot have a one size fits all, that's what I believe, correct me if I'm wrong. Right, so it's important that we get confused, what should I change? Should I change my habits? If I want to change what? What would you want to change? Go and tell your people that, okay, we attended a session, upskilling, let us upskill. Karenge, marenge, vande, matram, lag jao. कहाँ लगता है? करो तो क्या करो? Tell someone to start reading a book. I have lost more hair and to persuade people reading books than anything else. They said nothing much. कंटाळो आवे છે. How difficult is it to influence people? And I think so one of the skills that we as HR people, forgot about the workforce, we'll talk about the workforce as I go along, we need influence skills. Yes. We need persuasion skills. Yes. How many of you have books on influencing skills? Attend sessions on influencing skills? How many webinars have you attended? TED Talks have you listened on influencing skills? What are the 4 styles of influencing? Again, don't have time to get deep into it, but if you know it, great. If not, start. Because I need to influence business. Yeah, it's important that we understand that. And a quick question: what differentiates people who are achievers from people who are average people? Quick.
Achievers go out of their comfort zone.
Fantastic, super, very nice. Not you hit the nail on the head. Fantastic, very good. What else? Initiate. Yeah, we take initiative. Proactive. They think differently, absolutely. Yeah.
They fail sooner.
Pardon?
They fail sooner.
They fail sooner, very good. Yeah, so you fail fast, you fail early, you fail forward. Yeah. And one of the things that I would again wish I had more time, achievers are purpose driven. So what's your purpose of coming into this session? What's your purpose when you go to office each day? Punch in time. Lunch in time. What's your purpose? So if these guys are purpose driven, these guys are pleasure driven. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
There's a famous saying in HR and manufacturing, don't punch it.
Correct. I also come from the manufacturing setup. I understand that. That's what I said that. So I just want to share some of these points. If you want, I'll share this presentation with you. And I'm just trying to show a mirror to you and try to be honest to yourself, which is a very difficult thing to do. Yeah. So am I purpose driven or am I focused on pleasing results or am I focused on pleasing methods? Did you take the elevator to the 5th floor or the staircase? Taking the elevator is pleasing methods. Taking the staircase is pleasing results. These set of people focus on activities which are, and these set of people tension relieving. Quarter pati kayo. Yes, kayo. Calendar quarter. ट्यूबलाइट ऊपर भी नीचे भी है, so that will take time. right? So these set of people are डर के आगे जीत है, and these guys, I always want to say, yeah, and these set of people on a time, and they procrastinate. Right? And one of the things that we as HR people need to do, we need to role model the behaviors that we preach. It's the easiest thing in this world is to preach. The difficult part of the world is to be a role model on what you preach. And this is, I think so, one area that we need to work upon. And there are 5 things that effective people do, and this is all to do with the forward-looking focus. Number 1 is they make decisions early. Decision making is a skill that we need to upskill ourselves on. How do I make decisions? What is the structure that I have? What is the process that I have when I'm taking decision? Is it basis just gut? Will not work always, right? So I need to have a structure there, and I need to move away from being popular. Pleasing all is a recipe of disaster. I need to have the courage to stand out, be different. And it's difficult to be different, yes or no? Sameness creates comfort, but when you are different, that's slightly difficult. And I need to be disciplined on my daily choices. What do I put on my calendar? What are the activities that I put on my calendar? So one of the skills that comes along with this is planning, prioritizing. How many of you are planning 2035? You come with me, I don't have time, I can show you my laptop, I can show you my 2035. If I don't have my forward plan ready, how do I tell my people to do plan and prioritization? If I ask you, please open a laptop, can you show me a folder, books to read this quarter, sessions to attend this quarter, TED Talks to learn this quarter. Very important that we learn planning and prioritizing as a skill, and this is one of my favorite points, that decisions will help us start, but what helps us finish all that we start? It's discipline, right? And I wish I had more time to talk about discipline, but just to leave you with some questions before I just tell you some of the skills, just ask yourself, what one discipline, if you and I start working on, improve ourselves on that will have a super duper effect on our career, on a personal and professional life. Think about what discipline I need to get disciplined on, and you need to be disciplined on. Could be punctuality. Yeah, and this is what I just said. And discipline in, there are 10 various types, and these are all skills. And I need to learn first before I can preach and practice. Number 1, clarity in thinking. How many of you read books on thinking? One of the skills of the future is critical thinking. So let's start doing workshops on thinking skills, right? हम लोगों को बोलते हैं सोच के कर, ध्यान से कर, तो सोचते कैसे? Yeah, the discipline of continuous learning, the discipline of courage, having the courage to stand up and speak. But we need to do better things. Daily goal setting, the daily time management, very, very important. How many think time management is a very, very important thing? What do I do is I get so busy doing the trivial things that I don't have time to do the significant things. Have you been so busy driving that you don't have time to fill petrol, diesel or gas? Have you seen people on the road अपनी बाइक को टेढ़ा करके जो भी थोड़ा बहुत आता है पेट्रोल से गाड़ी चलाते हैं? Yes or no? Yes. Right? Don't wait for a career to give that indication. Very important that we understand how do I manage my time. Well, I don't believe anything on time management, because it's all about self-management or task management. Time management is something that happens by default. So I personally don't believe on a word called time management. It's more of self-management and the tasks and the activities that I'm managing, right? Some other points. So do you think it's time for change? For us first, as custodians of the culture in the organization, do you think it's time for us to change? Yes? Are you willing to change? Yes. Let's see if this is me. I'm not as beautiful as this lady. Imagine this is me. Now you can come back to me. Boys were all there. Men will always be men. You would have seen that ad. I have been using a typewriter all my life. Some of the kids in this room may not know typewriter. Typewriter was a machine which is used to type something. And if I had to change the line, what did I have to do? Tuck. Yeah. Now, madam is so happy with me. So she says, Anand, you do a fabulous job, so you are upgraded. So I give you a computer. What have I done all my life? Typing. So this is day one in office. Some of you did not get to see it. This is day one in office. This is how we change. Very difficult to change, right? And like Marshall Goldsmith, one of my favorite authors, has said this famous quote that what brought us here will not take us there. The skills that brought us to this level will not take us there. Doing more of the same. Say this with me. Doing. All of you repeat this with me. Doing. More of the same. Will not help us achieve our aspirations. Whether it is personal or organizational aspirations. I'll have to change. Otherwise, I'll be the Nokia of tomorrow. I'll be the Kodak of tomorrow. I'll be the Samsung of tomorrow. I'll be whatever companies have just become irrelevant in today's time, right? And so, couple of questions as people representing HR fraternity. Are we preparing or what's the difference? When I'm preparing and being proactive, like someone said, taking initiatives. And when I am repairing, I'm being more reactive. Repairing is about yesterday, and preparing is more on the days to come. And how do we all work with the spirit of excellence? Do you think we need spirit of excellence? Not the spirit that you are thinking, I'm talking about the spirit of excellence. You don't understand? Number one, let's read this together. Let's ask ourselves, do we do what we do well? Or just do we do a get by work? Just a show of hands. When do HR people get activated? When I resign. अरे भाई सो थे तने हम केम जाय છે ના जा भाई થોડી जा. Correct me if I'm wrong. So the question is, do I do what I do and I do it well? The second point is, do I do what I do well with a good attitude, with a smile on my face? When someone greets us, good morning, how do we say? Good morning. And the other person is wondering, which morning did he greet? Good, bad, ugly, I don't know which morning, but morning. In style from the boat morning. कौन सा वाला morning? Smile. हंसते रहो is what I think so HR is. Relationship building is what HR is. Empathy I think so is what HR is. Putting an arm on the shoulder of someone and having a chai cup together is what HR is. Is not transactional. Is not just going from one Excel sheet to the other Excel sheet and then wondering what did I do in the other Excel sheet, what name did I store that, and then we do all the pivot tables and this and that. We are all consumed in data, yes or no?
Yes.
I just don't know who made Excel sheet. And okay, so as I close, do you think preparation is the key? Preparing for what? We have already done this. Not getting into the details of this because we don't have time for all of this. So this is a slide that I had where we have 13 current decisions that are going against us. One of them was having no direction. One of the mistakes that we are all making is we don't have mentors. And this is what 15 things that people who are productive, they do differently. One of them is they focus on minutes. We have got 1,440 minutes in a day. उसमें करते क्या? We have got 86,400 seconds in a day. उसमें करते क्या? That's a point that I have to think. As per World Economic Forum, these are the top 10 skills that all of us, no one spared, will need to be brilliant, excellent in. Top of the tree is, we all need to improve our abilities to solve problems. The problems are getting more complex by each passing minute. Yes or no? Yes. The 4-letter word, which is giving sleepless nights to business leaders. What is that 4-letter word? The VUCA word. I'm sure all of you know about VUCA word. What is V? Volatility. So how do I combat volatility? Vision. What is U?
Uncertainty.
How do I combat the uncertainty in the business world? By having better understanding. What is C?
Complex.
How do I combat the complexity? By having clarity on the business of my company. What is A?
Ambiguity.
How do I combat ambiguity? By being agile. Say the word agile. Say the word agility or agile. Agile or agility. What is agile or agility mean? It is a word that stands on 3 legs. Say 3 legs. What are 3 legs? What is the first leg? Flexibility. What is the second leg? Speed. What is the third leg? Swiftness. And I think so we need to work on all of these 3 points. Critical thinking, I spoke about this a while back. Emotional intelligence is on the top 6. You could call this social intelligence. You could call this emotional quotient. Pick the name you want to pick. I think so emotional intelligence as a skill is something we all need to work upon. Yes, no?
Yes.
Right. And cognitive flexibility is something which is very, very important. I don't have time to explain. Cognitive is mental. So we are bombarded by data every day, and the volume of the data is increasing or decreasing? Is increasing. So how do I process that huge, humongous volume of data which is bombarding me every second? So how do I have cognitive flexibility in that? Service orientation, very important. Very, very important. You go and do an Air India counter. बोलो मैडम को, मैडम मुझे विंडो सीट दे दो. The way she looks at me, wings पे बिठा के ले जाओ, ले जाओ. What's wrong with the BSNL? You know BSNL भूल से बिना लेना. Because they have Bangar Seva Nigam Limited. Service orientation. It is all going to boil down to service orientation. And you need to be obsessed with customer centricity, and all HR people, we are customer facing people, internal customer facing. Yes or no? That's a skill that we need to develop. And as I close, this is a research done by PwC, one of the top 4 PricewaterhouseCoopers. And what they did is they surveyed about a very large number of C-level people, the CEOs and the CFOs, all of that. And they asked that tell us which are the skills that are in demand and the skills that are easy to find. So I can have a 2x2 matrix on that. So if you look at this, I think so the resolution of the projector is, so this is the 4x4 matrix. This is a quadrant which says the skills are easy to find and not that much in demand. So I call this quadrant the quadrant of surplus society. Say the word surplus society. You understand surplus society? More and more companies are doing that. More and more colleges are producing students who know more and more of that. What comes in the surplus society? Skills such as digital skills. So if you think you are very digital, Great, but then that's not in the top quadrant. There are many people who have digital skills. So the skills of the future, if we were to upskill our workforce and upskill ourselves, my last couple of seconds is we need to upskill ourselves on problem solving. We need to upskill ourselves on leadership skills. There are no leaders nowadays. There are bosses all around. Yeah, and leadership is influence. That's it. Nothing more, nothing less. So how do I build my leadership skills? How do I build my adaptability skills? How do I build innovation and creativity? I just told Ashish sir that maybe we can have workshops in Baroda where we can train people across domains on how to think laterally, because the school has taught us to think horizontally, at best vertically, but not laterally. I know the y-axis, I know the x-axis, but I don't know the z-axis. So I think so when we talk about future skills, these and a few more that you saw on the World Economic slide are the skills that we need to focus upon, right? And so, moving out from my comfort zone into the zone of learning, and every 18 to 36 months, let's do something new. When was the last time you did something for the first time is a good question to start an upskilling conversation. I'll repeat what I just said. When was the last time you did something for the first time? Could be a good question to start the upskilling conversation. Right? Every 18 to 36 months, change your domain or change the function or change the location, do something new. That's how you build those skills. Right? And all that I said, some of you will say, Anand, I'll do this one day. And I'm sure one of you sitting in this room will say, Anand, today is day one for me, right? Because I need to be having a sense of urgency. It's a VUCA world. So whether it is day one for you or whether it is one day for you, I have absolutely no idea. So thank you for your time. And in case you may want to reach out to me, those are my contact details. And any questions? Yes, ma'am. Do we have time for questions or do we take it later on? I don't know. I can take a question?
Sir, I have one basic question. And that is what I was but the word which I mentioned was that the vector opportunity that this current generation is coming in, it is a swipe generation that is how I call it, swipe generation. Last year, when was the last time they stood in a queue to buy a movie ticket and the face goes black? Do you think, because it's my personal experience, that this crime part or going too tough on them, it just always backfires because the availability of the resources is so much that, for them to just resign or go away is just
Absolutely.
so what are your thoughts on those lines?
That's a great question. First of all, let me acknowledge that super duper question. So the point is, let's say if I'm mentoring you, yeah? Just an example, hypothetically, am I tough on you, the person, or am I tough on your performance? The thing that we need to learn is I never get tough on the person. I'm always tough on the performance of the behavior. So am I talking issue based or am I talking person based? I think so we need to move the needle where we discuss, we don't argue. Number one. Number two, we always appreciate and draw a line where it is value based discussion. Because my values may not be your values. So let's say if I am not aligned to a few things, that doesn't mean that I am the best in that. Let's say if I don't do thing A and you do that, that doesn't make you good and you bad or me good and you bad. So let's keep the values up. Third point, whenever you give a feedback, whenever let's say you're asking a question or sharing your thoughts to a person, let us not start the statement with you. You are not focusing. You don't have the span of attention. You. Then whatever the statement. Let's drop the word you, use the word I feel so. In my opinion. So whenever we start a feedback or a mentoring or a coaching session and I use the word you, then I'm judging that person. And no one likes to be judged. The minute you judge someone, the defense mechanisms will be up. And when I say, in my opinion, मुझे ऐसा लगता है, मने वो लागे छे, then what you're doing, you're sharing a perception. Then you open the door for conversation to happen, and it's all boils down to communication, right? So let's ask ourselves, am I being tough on the person? And before that, if I go to step -1, have I done a goal setting exercise on behavioral basis? Have I done a goal setting exercise on the performance that I'm expecting that person to deliver? Like if you read that book, 4 Secrets of Execution, WIG is what the first habit is, or the first secret is. How many of you know what WIG is? Wildly important goal. Step number 2, you talk and discuss the lead and the lag indicators. Step number 3, you have a compelling scorecard. Step number 4, you have a cadence of accountability. I think so with all this in place, we will still have challenges, but I could mitigate those challenges to a certain extent. ज़्यादा बोल दिया मैंने? Yeah, so she is here, and I think so that is a signal that what will here. Thank you so much, Anand bhai, for your time. Thank you for sparing your time from your busy schedule and coming over. Just joking. Anyways, thank you once again. Thank you for your patient response.